Hey everybody, welcome to Behind the Mic. I'm Nina Taylor. My special guest tonight, I have a great time talking with my friends. We're all of the same age. We're all of the same social background. We have such an awesome time with talking about issues that apply to us, basically. My good friend, doctoral candidate Cindy Barnes is here today. How you doing?
I'm doing good and I'm happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me on the platform.
Well, I appreciate you showing up. Let's see, we were just talking about this, and of course, we got some things coming up that we're going to talk about also. But first, what do you feel like the state of dating for a single person over 40 years old? Do we have a shot at it? Is it something that we should just forget about? And I was also reading an article that said that, only one out of four of African American females are even going to be married in their life, period.
hmm
Where I've
hmm
been married multiple times.
Well, once,
And
but yeah.
yeah, most of my friends have been, everybody I know has been married at least once,
Right.
most of them at least twice. So, I mean, what does that even mean that only one out of four of us is ever going to get married? Does that mean anything to us?
I mean, data means something, but sometimes you have to look deeper than that.
Hmm.
So you have to peel apart how things have changed over the years, how
Hmm.
relationships have changed, how women have changed. And
Hmm.
there's a lot of controversy about being a feminine woman versus
Yeah.
being traditional or modern woman.
Hmm.
And it's also an unrealistic mindset about relationships.
Hmm.
So if you are realistic about what's going on in dating and who you are,
Hmm.
and making sure that you are measuring up to who you want, because they have standards also,
Hmm.
you really don't have a problem. And honestly, feminine women will always have options. This is a modern mindset type argument with modern men.
Hmm.
Um, it's so
I
much more
mean,
you can say about it.
we've talked about this, and myself and most of our friends, we're all alpha women, put it that way. We're in leadership roles. Uh,
Right.
but I feel like I'm every bit of feminine. I don't feel like that prevents me, that hinders my femininity in any kind of way. I feel like that's just my personality and doesn't really have much to do with that.
Right. I definitely I'm not an alpha woman myself. I'm
Hmm.
definitely more traditional,
Hmm.
feminine type woman. And I just know that sometimes, Mark, let me ask you,
Hmm.
in your dating life,
Hmm.
what kind of man do you tend to go for? Or what do you feel is like your preference in dating?
The thing with me is I've noticed, and I've mentioned this to people that I've dated, that I seem to attract these very, very macho type of guys. They're real, I'm the man, and
Right.
they got a level of arrogance about them. I don't know what
Hmm.
it is about me that attracts myself to those type of guys.
Right.
A lot of them are into fitness. They really are into their bodies, and I don't know why I attract that type of a man, but they're very masculine and very sure about themselves. Like I said, borderline arrogant. It's like, why these arrogant? Why you always with these real arrogant guys that think they on it? That seems to be
Hmm.
the type, I don't know why, but that seems to be the type that I attract. At least,
Okay.
since I was married young, and
Right.
even my first husband was like that as well. But I seem to attract those type that are very, for lack of another word, very macho, very arrogant. Oh, I don't want to say arrogant, maybe real sure of themselves, real. Um, that seems to be the type that I attract. I don't know why. It's not that I'm
Okay.
not looking. I don't
Right.
look for anybody. I've never pursued a man myself.
Right.
If he wants me, he's got to come to me, you know.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Exactly. So when you say, are you referring to like alpha men or traditional men? Or
They
like when
seem,
you
I don't know how
traditional?
traditional they are. They seem to, I think I've only been with one person who kind of uh wanted me to be, the 1950s wife, and I said never gonna happen. That we ended
Right.
up,
He kind of wanted you to be at home and not really
yeah,
work or
yeah,
anything like
just,
that.
and it's like you met me at an event
Right.
where I was working, but now
Right.
you get with me and now you want to change me into someone else. That's not going to happen. And it didn't happen. It didn't work, and it won't work for most people.
Right. So where are these men have similar
Mhm.
backgrounds or where are you meeting them? Is there like some type of pattern? Because you said they were all macho, but
Mhm.
like what's the pattern? Are you meeting them in certain places? Are they in the same industry?
It's different places. Some may have been in music and in the music industry,
Hmm.
but most of them not in the music industry at all. Just regular guys,
I
Um,
personally love a good confident man. Like
yeah,
a
definitely.
man
Definitely.
who's gonna like tell
Hmm.
me what to do. I don't know. I just feel like as it's very attractive to
Hmm.
meet a man that is very sure of himself.
Yes.
He's sure of him goals. He
Hmm.
knows the vision. He's made
Hmm.
it plain, and he understands the type of woman that he's gonna need in his life.
Right, right.
I love that type of man. So that's why I was asking when you say arrogant, are
Hmm.
you saying that because he's like letting you know who he is and
Hmm.
what he wants, what he's not going to deal with, or he just like kissing his muscles all the time? Like, what do you mean when you say
Um,
muscle?
a little bit of both. Like I said, we're talking about, let's go back 20 years. Some, I don't know. I think everybody else was calling them arrogant. I wasn't. I just said,
Okay.
yeah, you know what
Okay.
I mean? It's like
Right.
everybody else, oh, he get on my nerves, he get all that. That was coming from other people, not me. I just noticed that as far as I go, there's a pattern of that type of man being attracted to me, you
Okay.
know.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, but you don't like that type of man. You don't like a
I
macho
do.
man.
No, I don't mind, if that's his personality, I don't mind. I want you to be positive of who you are and what you are. Yeah, absolutely. I don't mind it at all. No.
So what happens when you like date the guy? Are you like vetting the guy or are you just kind of like seeing how it goes? Are you starting out like me? I used to start out, oh, we gotta be friends. We gotta be
Hmm.
friends. And
Hmm.
so I'm so focused on a friendship
Hmm.
until when it develops into something else,
Hmm.
I'm really not there. I'm focused on a friendship because I value friendship.
Hmm.
And then now I'm like, now I don't want to let him go because I'm valuing friendship.
Right, right.
So, and I realized that was the wrong way. It's good to be friendly and get to know a person, but
Hmm.
don't make it to the point where it's so much focus on being so close as friends
Hmm.
until you waste a lot of time really figuring out who you're dealing with. So how is it with you? Do you jump in like, hey, how are you doing? I'm trying to get
Do I
married.
go into the friend zone and then kind of creep out of it? No.
Right,
Usually, I think we both kind of know at the beginning if it's a friendship, because I do have a lot of male friends.
right.
And we've
Which
never
is important.
dated, we've never laid a hand on each other. And I know even people I've dated, like, oh, you're friends with him. Oh, well, y'all used to date. No, we never dated. Uh,
Right.
I keep everything very separate. If we're friends, we're friends. If we're not, we're not. Normally, if I'm going into a relationship with someone or trying to get to know them, I think at some point we're making it clear to each other that we're trying to get to know each other, so that this can possibly develop into a romance or marriage or whatever it is. Yeah, I think that was clear from the beginning. So if they're my friend, they're my friend. I do, like I said, I have some of my very closest friends are males, and we've never dated. I know their wives or their girlfriends, or may have introduced them to their wives or girlfriends,
Right.
or vice versa. They may have introduced me to someone. But no, I have male friends who it to me, I don't, if I'm interested in you on that level, then no, we're not going to be saying, oh, we're friends. No.
Okay, so do you
Uh-huh.
feel it's necessary to have a friendship before you start dating, or you start dating, you'll get to the friendship?
Um,
Not best friends, because I don't believe in
yeah,
that
yeah.
word,
I
but
think, wow, that is such a great question. I've never thought about it that way. I think that I am very close with them,
hmm
with my friends. And somebody I've dated, I consider that person somebody I'm close with, but it's just different.
Right, very much
Me,
so.
it's a different kind of closeness. I'm close with you this way. I'm close with him another way because we're friends.
Right,
I think it's a different type of closeness. Now I have an ex that I was married to. We're very good friends now. He's married to someone else, of course, gone on, but we're very good friends. We started off kind of in the friend zone because when we met, we were both married.
right,
We were friends for years, years. We both ended up divorced, and some years later, we started dating, and we did get married. We're not married anymore, but we're back to being friends again. So
okay,
it's different. It's different.
right. It
Mhm,
is different.
mhm.
Do you think it's possible to love multiple men different ways?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, you said my male friends. Yes, I love them as friends, like brothers. Like I love my blood brothers.
hmm
Oh, and again, I have a closeness. I'm close with my brothers. I'm very close with my brothers. We're a very close family. The love I have for them is different, than I do for my male friends that I consider our brothers, right? I
Right.
think it's all different. It's different types of love and different types of closeness that you're gonna have in all your relationships.
I guess I mean, like when you're
Mhm.
dating,
Yeah.
let's say you dated person A long time ago, you loved him, and then you meet person B, and you loved him. Then later on, I'll break up the person C.
Mhm.
Is it possible for you to have loved them the same, or do you believe in you love them all differently? And do you believe you love never fades? Like once you love them,
Mhm.
you love them. How do you feel about
That's
that?
true. That's true. You might hate them on the surface, but I think once you love somebody, it never really goes away. I
Are you
do.
able to love them all the same in relationships? Like if you
No,
dated somebody years
no,
ago?
absolutely not. I think that's all different. I think I felt a different kind of love for them. Uh,
Mhm.
you love differently in your 20s than you do in your 40s,
Absolutely.
and even
Absolutely.
older in your 50s, it's different. As we grow, the way that we do things all becomes different. I think that includes loving people too.
And that's how I feel. I
Mhm,
I turned 50 this year. I'm so excited. And I have a couple of friends. And I've been married before in
mhm,
my 20s, and I learned a lot about myself,
mhm,
especially not living with a man first.
mhm,
So it's just some things you learn about yourself. And one of the things I learned about myself is that I need a lot of alone time. Okay. I need a lot of alone time.
absolutely. Mhm.
And that was a little bit of an issue for my ex because he was very like, let's hold hands on the couch.
Yeah.
Let's
Mhm,
go, I want to run to the store. Let's run to the store together. And that wasn't the biggest thing. But anyway, it taught me a lot about myself. And like you said, as time moves on, I
mhm,
started to really, I've always been like a girly girl, but I've really, really started to mature
mhm,
and how I my thought process when it comes to men and talking back and being argumentative. I had to stop all that,
mhm,
and I'm still learning, to honor the man. He doesn't have just the man's position in life.
mhm.
He's the head, and some women have a problem with that, and that's okay. But I just
Oh,
kind
I
of,
agree with you. Yeah, I
yeah,
agree.
he's the head. We have to respect men for their position in the world. And
Mhm.
so I feel like the reason why I haven't remarried yet is that I feel like there's still some things that I need to work out or get to
Mhm.
before I enter into that area. Do you think you ever get married again?
I sure hope so. I married young, very young. Um, and I'm a family person, you know,
Right.
grew up, like I said, I grew up in a very large, close family, and I
hmm
am a family person. I do like being married. I love to be married again, but it has to be the right situation, has definitely got to be the right person.
That's the key.
Um,
You know, I
mhm.
think when you get a little older, and
Yeah.
it's funny because I do have, I grew up in a cohort, and I
Hmm.
have relatives at the same age, and they have a different mindset,
Hmm.
when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I think I'm getting. Eventually, I probably do.
Hmm.
I've been kind of keeping people at bay, but as far as asking that question, but eventually I do. But I want to make sure it's just gonna be different. It's gonna be different. You have things going on. It's a
Hmm.
different situation. You're not young. You're not, building from scratch. So it would definitely have to be something that makes sense. Because it's not just to not be alone. Because I can still have male friends or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna be the driving force.
Hmm.
But there are certain arenas that I do want to enter, and I do recognize that they respect marriage more than singleness.
Hmm.
How do you feel about that?
How do I feel about marriage as opposed to singleness?
Like, do you feel like
Mm.
have you seen where there's certain arenas where being married looks better versus being single?
Yeah, I feel that way every time I'm paying bills. Uh, um, no, well, that, uh, I don't know. The last time I went on a cruise,
Hmm.
well, both times I went on a cruise, I went with a bunch of females. And I was thinking about how beautiful and romantic it was on the ship at night.
Hmm.
And I was thinking, wow, why am I here with you?
Right.
It's just that I was just thinking the same thing. Um, those kind of things, but we got over that because we did have a fantastic time. Um, I think I don't know. It hasn't really been any time where I thought, wow, I wish I was married. Once I was at a church service and I was sitting in the back with some girlfriends. It was a concert and everybody started coming in and everybody was coupled up. I
Okay.
was like, what is going on?
Right.
It's like a couples thing. I mean, it was just everybody was walking in twos, and it kind of made me feel weird. Like, why is everybody coupled up? And I said, I guess it's because it's a church thing. I didn't know, and it made me feel some type of way. I don't think I've had
Right.
any times where I felt like, gee, because I can get a date. I've called, I have no problem with calling someone and if I don't want to go with a female and I want to go with a male, I have no problem with picking up the phone and say, do you want to go?
Right.
I've done that. And still will do that, if that's the type of situation. I went to a formal thing and
Hmm.
I felt like I needed to be, with a date as opposed to just going. Some of my family members went and I also took a date too.
Right.
So that, I guess because it's not hasn't been a problem for me as far as
Hmm.
dating that I really haven't seen that.
Right.
And I
I
know
guess
that
what
if
I
I
meant
wanted to be married right this moment, I could be. I've actually,
exactly.
I could have been, I think in the last 10 years, I've been proposed to at least 5 or 6 times. And
Yeah.
just,
And I think, I want to
mhm,
make this one point. We're going to go back to that because
mhm,
they call that option privilege. I've been said I have option privilege,
yeah.
where some women have never been proposed to. But I
Mhm,
guess what I was saying is that being married, I was offered a couple positions in Dubai, paying really good money, tax free,
mhm,
and they gave me a list of things I would have to adhere to. One of the things was that I would only have enough material, personal material for my own religion if it wasn't theirs. And I had to have an escort when I walked around outside the compound, or a special note giving permission from a man. And some of those things made me think like, wow, it would be better. I could probably handle this better if I was married. This opportunity would be more attractive if I was married. So I
mhm,
guess that's what I was talking about. I'm never like, oh goodness, I needs me a man to get married.
mhm,
No, but like certain situations, it
mhm.
would just make more sense. I would feel more comfortable,
Yeah.
being married
Mhm,
versus Now, some people go single and that's fine, but all the do's and don'ts, I would just feel better having someone to stand for me
Mhm.
in that position. But when we're talking about being proposed to, now, when you're talking about the women 1 and 4, why do you think, like you say, you've been proposed to 5 times, I've been proposed to multiple times. Why do you think women are just not able to even get the proposal?
That's a good question. I don't know because I do know several people that have uh never ever been married at all, and they have 4 or 5 kids, and they never been married. Um, I think um I don't know. Maybe it may be a thing where they are looking for Mr. Perfect.
Mm,
He's just not coming their way.
right,
With one of them, she's not going to get married unless he has all, his ducks like she wants him to have, which I said, good luck with that,
right. But I mean, right, right. I was gonna
Some
say something,
women are
but
holding out for Mr. Rich Man. I told her, forget it. And he just,
right.
you know, if he hasn't come along by now, I doubt if the guy you're talking about and you want him to be in his 50s also. I said, good luck with that. I don't know. In their cases, they are holding out for something specific that to me, I don't think is possible.
And it isn't that like a mindset attached to it because if you've had multiple kids,
Yeah.
and we're gonna add the fact that multiple fathers,
Hmm.
um, why weren't any of them good enough? Or maybe they didn't ask, or do you feel it's a skill set and a mindset to even know how to get proposed to, or because why is it that so many women have never been proposed to, or they're in this final stage of proposal as if the proposal is the wedding, but
I
they've
have no
never.
idea. I don't, I wish I knew the answer to that. Um, the last time someone proposed to me, it was like, why didn't you marry him? Are you crazy? And to me, they were all saying that just because of the way he looked.
Right,
And I said, well, just don't want to marry him. I don't love him.
right,
That's the main thing. Yes, he is very good looking, but it's got to be more to it than that. If you love him, he doesn't have to be good looking at all, you know?
right. Because really, men are supposed to earn our attraction. They're very physical, and we're very nurturing, and you can say, well, I mean, he's fine. Like he's so sweet, and you
Yeah,
start
it
to
makes
see
him
things in
attractive to
him.
us because of other things. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Uh,
So when you say about women not, wanting for being married, there's a lot of factors involved there.
yeah.
Um, when I've spoken to women, I've only been on this earth for 50 short years, but when I've had conversations with women that fit that description, you
Hmm.
can always, like you said, it's a level of disconnect. Um, they're not really understanding who they are and how they are presenting themselves.
Hmm.
And it's not making sense. Like they don't have the mindset that comes with being able to get to a point where someone's going to propose to you. Do you feel that some women stay in relationships way too long, or they give too much, or how long do you think a person should stay in a relationship before they walk away?
Well, it depends on what you want from the relationship, right? Uh,
Hmm.
I know somebody who's been with a guy since high school. She's now in her 50s and they're still not married. She's determined to just marry him. He's determined to not marry her. He's been married multiple times to other people.
Oh
Yeah,
no!
that's what I'm saying. It's like, when are you going to give up? And she has stayed right there. And I don't know. I mean, now they have grandkids together and they're still not married. So
You have to.
uh,
I
I don't
that
know what it
that's
is. I mean, she had dated some other people in the past, but it never worked out because even though he refused to marry her, he refused to let her have another relationship, and she allowed him to do that. So, even though he was with other people, and he even has other kids too by other people, multiple people
Is that
besides.
the man's fault or the woman's fault?
It's our fault when we let somebody use us for years. It's your fault, you know.
Yeah.
Like Maya Angelou says, when they show you who they are the first time, you need to believe it and move on. She's been hanging on to a guy for her whole life who has made it very clear that he told her 30 years ago he was never going to marry her, and he never has, and he never will. But and at this point now, she's in her 50s and still not married. She's got grandkids now, and I don't think she's with anyone, you know. He's going on doing his own thing. So,
I know a few women like that. I think that, again, it's back to understanding who we are as women. We
Mhm,
are naturally, we are nurturers.
mhm,
And it's nothing for us to snap into place and just do whatever needs to be done. But sometimes you set yourself up because,
mhm,
I have a level, there's levels to it. Because I don't do girlfriend, boyfriend stuff. That's stuff people do in their
mhm.
20s. But um, you don't get to know what's going on with me. There's a different level for that. You don't get to
Hey,
know,
mhm,
because if you're not my husband, why are you asking me about my whereabouts? That's a husband question. Or if
mhm.
you want to know what's going on with me in certain areas, that's a husband question. I say that all the
Yeah,
time.
you want to know how much I make and all this other stuff. That's a husband question.
It's just
Definitely.
kind of like, and
Yeah.
thank God I've never had a guy say that to me because
Mhm,
I tend to date men that are providers.
mhm.
Um, but I just, if you want to know, I'll tell you vaguely what I'm doing, or I'll tell you a vague schedule, but you don't get to know the ins and outs. Now, I will do a couple things to show you what I know what to do. But other than that, there's a dating phase. That's how you get to know somebody. I'm
Oh.
not gonna just automatically come over, start cleaning up and staying at your house. I just don't do that because you set yourself up. Set yourself up. Why turn into a surrogate wife and you're not married?
You just have to make it clear. I don't play house. I don't play games. Boom. You know?
But do you feel some women, because I know this has been a
Mhm.
question, like some women feel like they have to play house,
I
or they
think they're
have to do
doing what they think they have to do to get them, and they're gonna find out that that won't work either. You know, it
it.
doesn't. It doesn't.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, you kind of that's the issue I feel like when it comes to dating. And I've noticed that you can try like women come and talk to me about this kind of stuff all the time because they say, oh, you're my feminine coach, as they say. You're my feminine
Yeah.
coach. Okay, whatever. But then when you try to kind of give them a little information,
Mhm.
it's a back and forth
Mhm.
about it. It's almost like I have a quote that's someone that I read somewhere that what it said about women. Let me get it real quick. I thought it was very interesting, and I want to know your thoughts on it. And it talked about personalities of a woman. It was a woman said it. I'm sure other people said it too. So I don't know why saying it wasn't just a woman who said it, but I'm just saying. And I'm gonna read it to you and pull it up right now. And it says here, this is specific for African American women. It
Mhm.
said many Black women want the authority of a man, the privilege of a woman, and the accountability of a child.
Ooh.
How do you feel about? I'm gonna read one more time.
Mm.
Many Black women want the authority of a man, the privilege of a woman, and the accountability of a child. How do you feel about that?
Wow. I don't know. I never felt like I never felt like I wanted to be a man in any way, shape, or form. And like I said, I was always with these super I'm the man type of guys, and
Right,
they would never allow that anyway, you know. Um, hmm, I don't know. I think that that comes with knowing who and what you are instead of trying to be something that you're not,
right.
which unbelievable. That's a good quote. I like that.
I think a lot of times with women,
Mhm.
even though we're amazing, women are amazing. We can do so much with so little and we're so creative. I think a lot of times we want to focus on the man so much
Mhm.
and not on what we're doing because we set the tone. Um, it doesn't matter what he came to do, we set the tone. So if he's not doing what he's supposed to do, we're supposed to just like walk away. We're not supposed to just sit there and beg or whatever.
Mhm.
But do you feel that women are being accountable for their behavior and their missteps in their life?
Absolutely not. Not all of us. No. Some of us are just out here being buck wild. You gave an example. You were talking about Dubai earlier. What about the girl who went to Dubai and was acting buck wild and talking loud and they were saying, "Hey, that don't work here. You know, a woman is a woman. A woman doesn't talk loud. A woman doesn't argue with a man." And she's doing her thing, and next thing you know, she's in handcuffs and locked up.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't fly in all communities, and that won't fly with all men. You know,
Right.
you gotta know what kind of a man you're dealing with. That if he's going to tolerate a lot of that foolishness, or whether he doesn't care or whatever it is. Have you noticed? Like, I was looking at you're talking about types of women. You notice that some types of guys like. Have you ever watched any of these reality shows, especially the ones with the rappers and the women, and they're fighting and going through all this stuff. Just a different type, than
Right.
you know. There's different
Mm-hmm.
types of us out here based on the type of man that we want. I think that's what it is. It's like, oh yeah, well, I'm a BB, so I need a guy who wants a BB, and that's what you should do. Don't try to get with if you're one of those type of women, don't try to get with a guy who's corporate, who who's not going to
Right.
go for that type of behavior, who is definitely going to mind that type of thing. You need to get with the type of guy who wants your type of woman. I need to be with a guy who wants my type of woman. Somebody who's a workaholic, who doesn't mind that, who doesn't mind them traveling, and who doesn't mind a lot of the stuff that I do. If he does, it's going to be a problem. You know, so I think,
Right.
what do we call it? We need to all stay in our own lane, stay with the type of guy who wants the type of woman I am, you know?
That's so important. If you don't want the type of guy, then you need to change how you navigate. I have a cousin years ago who told me something, and I was so offended and so angry with her because I was telling her a situation and what happened and what this person did and what he did, da.
Mhm.
And she cut me off. She said, "You know what? There's never an excuse not to be a lady." I was like, "What you
Oh,
talking about?"
oh yes,
So
absolutely.
I'm going, I was like, "What you talking?" But I'm he did it. She's like,
Yeah,
"This is
but
never
he
an excuse."
did. Yeah.
Right. She's like, "This is never an excuse not to be a lady. If you're in a situation where
Mhm,
you can no longer be a lady, it's time
mhm,
to remove yourself." And
mhm.
I was upset with her. I was super offended because I thought who are you talking to? I'm a deputy. I'm a lady. But then she also said, and understand what a lady is.
Yeah.
And that
Mhm,
statement, I was so offended until
mhm.
it made me do more research and made me just really do some
Soul searching.
soul searching on myself,
Yeah,
what that really
absolutely.
looks like.
Hmm.
And I say that to this day. I'm so grateful. I tell her all the time, Dr. Linda Seaver, I tell her all the time, I'm so glad that she was able to say that to me because it really changed. And like I said, I was never like out there, but then, it was, my little mouth, I got to make a little slick comments here and there. And so I had to really just work on that. And I'm glad she said that. And from there, it motivated me to search deeper. It's like, what are some of the other areas that I can kind of clean up being a lady? Because being a lady is very important. We're super important.
Yeah.
We, like I said, we set the tone for everything. And
Hmm.
so it was important for me to conduct myself in a way where no matter where I'm at, everyone experiences a lady, whether
Yeah.
it's walking into the store, people want to open a door for you, whether it's being in a room, whether it's having a conversation. And so I've realized when I have conversations with certain women, they don't care about that. Or
Hmm.
they feel like they have to jump in and out of their femininity. Or, well, he should have said this. So I had to go ahead and curse him out. And so, what do you say
Yeah.
to that?
Hmm.
How do you really handle that when you have women who complain about men?
Hmm.
They have no accountability, they don't want to be a lady,
Hmm.
and then they wonder why they say all men are dogs.
Well, they're probably acting like dogs around you because yeah, I've never said all men are dogs because I know all men are not dogs. Normally dogs stay away from me, but
Right. I love men.
uh, yeah, they stay away. But you sometimes if that's what you're constantly attracting, because that's what I said. Why am I always attracting these type of guys? They're not bad, but you have to look at yourself. Or what kind of people are you attracting? You know,
Right.
you got these women that always get with guys who are hitting them in the head. Why is that happening? Why are
Right.
you a constant target for these type of men? You know,
Right.
check yourself first and see what is it? When people used to say, nobody said it to me probably in the last 10, 12 years, but I used to get really offended. Like, oh, you're so scary. You're intimidating.
Mm,
And as soon as they said that, that was the end of our conversation and any whatever relationship we were in, it was done. I did not
mm.
say that. I was so offended by that. And I'd say, well, you know what? It's a good thing that you never have to see me again. And you don't have to worry about being scared. And I'd be gone, just like that. That's
Did you ask him to give
but
you an example of what he was
no,
talking about?
no, no. I would be so offended by them saying that. But it was happening a lot. And I was saying that a lot. Oh, you're scared. What are you scared of? And of course, years now that I've matured, I try to think back on, what was I doing that was sitting quietly and doing nothing? What was I doing? I'm still trying to figure that one out. What was I doing that was making everybody so scared? What was I doing that was intimidating you so bad? But as soon as that came out their mouth, I was done with them. I was done. There
Well,
was
what
no
I feel,
calling back and apologizing. There was, well, what did I say? Oh, you know what you said. This, we're done, I
you know
would,
what you said. I don't want to talk. I'm done.
yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. We're done. And I would get up and leave right then and there. I'd
Now,
be so offended.
do you think that men are different with different women? So you get the
Oh,
one man.
absolutely.
You think that? Me too.
Uh-huh. I
Me
think
too.
we're different. We're different with them, depending
Yep.
on Yeah, so many things. Uh, you catch us at the wrong time of the month. It's a problem. Everything's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
We're different, we're different. So of course I think they are. Uh, I was in a podcast a few months ago. It was actually last year, and the guy was saying that we all wear masks in the beginning.
Mm.
It's getting to the point where we can take that off and show you the real me. And everybody does it. Absolutely, we do. Think about that first date. You still like that? Are you still that person? No. 2 years down the line, 6 months down the line, everything's different now. So,
Do you think it's a mask or we're just trying to start fresh and put our best foot forward, but we just don't keep it up? Or do you think we're really lying and like overselling ourselves in the beginning like a
yeah, I
salesman?
mean, that's what he was saying. What the guy was saying was everybody sends their representative at first in the beginning. It's not really me you're going out with my representative, and my representative is going to let me know if this is a go or not.
Right. Right. Well, how do you feel
That's what he
about
said.
long distance relationships?
Oh God, I've been in those. It is when you travel a lot, that could happen. I've been in a long distance relationship. It can work, but not for a long time. I think after a while, you're like, look, either we're gonna get together or we're not. If it's been many, many years and you're still not in the same space, yeah, I don't call that working, I don't call that working, especially when you get older, you start getting impatient and what's keeping you apart? Okay, yeah, you live in California, I live in Texas. What are we gonna do? Somebody's gonna have to make a move at some point if you're going to be together, right?
Well, what do you feel about the
families in the
new
same space.
since marriage, you know what, 65% of couples are getting divorced, especially after COVID
70.
really boosted it up.
Mm-hmm.
Now you see couples that are just doing things their way. You have couples that live in different homes, they're still married, they live in different states. They have different rooms in a house, but they're still married, and it
Mm-hmm.
seems to be working for them. How do you feel about that?
Well, if that works for them, fine. The whole I know a couple who've been married like 40 years. They've hardly ever slept in the same room together because he snores so super loud and she can never get any sleep. So it's like this isn't working. So they've always had separate bedrooms for sleeping because of his snoring. And it's never changed, but they're still together. So
I,
and
I feel the same way. I don't feel that. I feel like having separate rooms is very important. Anyway, that's something else. But
Yeah,
I
that's
feel
something
like
else.
that's
But you know what I wanted to mention quickly? Uh, this conversation and conversations like this, we want to tell everybody about 40 plus, the social site. We're not gonna say it's just for
yes.
women because it's not, but we
Mhm.
invite our sisters to come aboard and join the social networking site 40 plus. The website is 40 plus, that's the number 40 plus .ning.com. So why don't you tell them a little bit about some of the things that's going to be going on there?
Well, we're going to have topics, meet and greets, just building a sisterhood. Well, it's going to be a lot. It's not just for women, but it's going to be a safe place for men and women to just to have different groups. I see a lot of different sites and groups, but it's just so like bland. We're going to have real conversations. We're going to have Zoom meetups. We're going to have in-person meetups. We're going to do trips. And we're going to ask the hard questions and we're going to get the hard answers. So
Mhm,
I'm excited about it because even though you see different places that say, if you're a certain age, they kind of fall flat, the ones that I've seen.
mhm,
And this is just going to be something where you can genuinely network with people, get to know people, um, come together and get back to back in the day, they had the old-fashioned barter system when it came to business and how
mhm.
you help one another.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to build, a safe place, older adults come together with shared interests, and we're going to try to have a group for all interests. If it's something like education, engineering, or how to fix it, whatever you want to talk about, we're going to have a safe space for people to come
Mhm,
and really have the honest conversations, the fun conversations.
mhm.
And
Well,
I'm
that's
excited
awesome.
about it.
And the only criteria is that you must be born before January 1st, 1984. That's the only thing. You have to be born before January. If you're born in 1984, it's not going to work. We need you to be born on or before January 1st, 1984. That will put you over 40, which is what the group is. I think the networking is what I'm really looking forward to being a part of. Again, that website is 40 plus dot ning.com. The number 40 plus plus.ning.com. So just go on there. It is free to join.
Mhm.
So do it today. All right. We're going to close
We'll
in a
be
little
active soon. Are we saying it's
minute.
active right now or is it going to be active soon?
Absolutely. It is active now. They can
Okay.
go to the site now. Um, yeah, I mean, it's still a work in progress, but it is ready for people to join. They can go on and start getting your page together, and
Hmm.
the creators are making whatever adjustments. Yeah, but we want to start inviting people to come aboard.
So get in while you can right now
Yeah, yeah.
in the beginning stages. That's really important.
Absolutely, absolutely. So looking forward to seeing you all there. Any final questions in closing? Any comments in closing?
No, I just want to say thank you again for we can go on and want to talk about everything.
Absolutely.
So it was just nice to
Absolutely.
just sit and have a conversation
Mhm.
about topics, marriage, women, dating, men,
Absolutely.
and just
Mhm.
just to share different perspectives.
Mhm.
And so I look forward to seeing everyone on the 40 plus website.
Mhm.
And I look forward to um coming together doing other things.
Absolutely. All right, so we got a trip coming up too. Lots of trips already. Planning a trip for 2025. You'll get information on there about that. Or you can go to, yeah, just go there. We'll put it there. I was gonna tell them I don't want to give too much information, but just
Right.
go there and get the information about our first trip, which will be in 2025. All right, my
Right.
sister, thank you so much.
Thank you.
There, thank you. You all have a great day, and thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.